over 94, almost 95. Now, Peyton Manning, a big crowd favorite.
Yep.
Not as good in these same temperatures. His QB rating is 61. So again, based on the weather, I think the QB performance will be a huge issue on Sunday. I'm going for the upset. I'm picking the Colts to go into Denver and beat the Broncos based on the weather. Nothing personal, people in Colorado. This is just based on the weather. Another big-time game going on. We're talking about the Panthers going into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Temperatures in the 40s throughout the game. But based on previous performance, the Panthers are 2-2 in temperatures in the 40s. The Seahawks are 14-2. So again, that's a no-brainer. Because of the weather, I'm picking the Seahawks to win that game. So again, the rundown, we got the upset of the Colts. We got the Seahawks winning. Also, the previous games you picked, I'm picking Green Bay, as well as picking the Patriots, all to win this weekend based on the weather.
All right, we'll have to wait and see. He called for an upset. How about that? Tomorrow on Weather Center Live's Weekend Edition, a special guest weighs in on the Cowboys-Packers matchup. You'll hear from Dan Reeves, who played in the infamous Ice Bowl and who's played or coached in 7 Super Bowl games. He shares his outlook tomorrow morning at 8:40 Eastern, only right here on the Weather Channel.
All right, cool. Certainly, from someone who knows, you really get insight. All right, this week we've seen it all, haven't we? And we're going to get to share it with you, our viewers, and we have seen a lot of it because of you.
That's right. Also, we have much more coming up in your winter weather update. Stay right there.
Okay, listen up. I'm reworking the menu. Mayo, corn dogs, you are so out of here.
The complete balanced nutrition of great tasting Ensure. 24 vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, and 9 grams of protein.
Ensure, nutrition in charge.
Not all toothbrushes are created equal. Oral-B toothbrushes are engineered with end-rounded bristles, so brushing doesn't scratch gums, and angled perfectly to remove 90% of plaque for a healthier smile. Trust the brand more dentists and hygienists use. Oral-B.
Olive Garden's new northern tour of Italy. 3 decadent tastes on one plate. Discover velvety slopes of fettuccine alfredo overlooking rich chicken lombardi and hills of Asiago tortelloni, plus salad and breadsticks. Hurry in, offer ends soon at Olive Garden.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 59, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, high 75. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy skies, low 70. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
You do a lot to keep your family safe at home. So make sure they're safer on the road. See farther, wider, better. Upgrade to Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
This is Paul. This is Paul's office. For those who believe a serious job doesn't have to feel so serious. One-a-day men's Vitacraves with key nutrients like B vitamins, which help convert food to fuel. It's not just a gummy, it's a complete multivitamin.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with efficiency? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
Here, kitty. Here, cutie. Oh,
snuggles with Mama.
Missing something? Like the BOGO event at Sears Optical. Right now, buy any pair of glasses and get a second pair free. Sears Optical. Don't miss a thing.
Can I help Miss Girl?
At the end of the day, my hands are beat up.
Especially during the winter times, hands are splitting, cracking, making it very difficult to do my job.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry hands that crack and split.
Best stuff we've ever used.
It just works.
Learn more at workinghands.com.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this.
Danger. Warning.
You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
Danger.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
There was a time when the sea gave way to the sky, raising an amazing city.
If I were to define the word foodie, I would say it's someone who has great passion and love for food. Cooking is very social. Cooking is very joyful, and I think that needs to be shared with the people that you care most about. One of the biggest reasons that our QVC foodies connect with me is that I meet them where they live. I'm not a chef. I'm a home cook, just like they are. And each and every show, we're learning together, and we're sharing our passion for wonderful food. And I think that's why our relationship is so strong. I'm David Venable, QVC's resident foodie.
I'm Robin.
And I'm Chris. And according to Mama, we're brothers.
Clearly. At a firehouse table just like this, we learned about the tradition of great food and lots of it.
From the start, every Firehouse sub has honored our firefighter roots.
That's right. Take the hook and ladder sub, loaded with turkey, honey ham, Monterey Jack, steam heated. It's the sub that started the fire.
And now, the light version. Only $5.49, just 450 calories. Perfect for you, Robin.
Why are you looking at me?
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
5-714-8687.
See this winter like never before. Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel Mornings.
Hey everybody, a pretty impressive sight earlier this morning in Louisville, Kentucky. Look at that, a broken water main spews water right up into the air. The end result, especially when it's so cold outside, all that water just froze onto the surrounding tree branches. So quite a mess. You know, we heard of this happening in other cities like Atlanta, Jim, but look at that. It's like a snow machine, right? You would see the ski resort.
The last time I saw ice like that was in Burlington, Vermont, when it was 3 inches thick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. Yeah, you're just, if the air's cold, it's dry.
Look
I
at the
mean,
tree.
you're essentially just creating an ice fountain right there.
Mm-hmm.
And even the fence, Kel, look at the fence behind it, all coated. Of course, the metal and the trees are below freezing. What's interesting that on the first part of that shot is, look at that, the wind is obviously pushing this, it looks like, over toward that direction. If the wind was strong under the other way, it would have pushed it right in the road.
Oh,
they
yeah,
would have probably had to close the road.
Yeah, I bet you.
You wouldn't be able to get by the road there because it was so bad. But, wow, awful situation here. Let's talk about a hose of a different kind. This is kind of a snow hose, all right? A snow gun, if you will.
Right.
And it's coming across Lake Erie, the cold air loft over the warmer lake, and pretty much funneling right into Erie and Cattaraugus County. That's where the big game has been today. Again, Buffalo South Metro, we've had anywhere from 13 to 18 inches of snow in through here, and it keeps on coming down. And of course, you know, we always talk about this, the warm lake and the cold air loft. If you remember back in November when we had the big event, we had temperatures in the middle of the lake that were 50.
Right.
All right. It wasn't as cold aloft, but you still have the same differential, no matter where you get it. So the same physics are involved in
instability.
Here. But what's really interesting is this rising air motion and then this sinking air motion. But it's right under this and right in these edges that the tremendous snow rates are going on. And that's where, unfortunately, like we saw today in Western Michigan, cars are just driving right into that.
We should point out, too, that, December was so mild for the most part that the lakes really haven't been able to freeze over. So Erie very much in play.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, there's still enough of Lake Erie. I mean, even though it's the most shallow lake, just the southwest part of it. I mean, right now, this is Sean's current date. It's 36 degrees. So it's pretty warm, especially when you factor in how cold the air is aloft. And that's the key to this event. Let me show you what this looks like, because this is probably one of the best videos I've ever seen. This is South Buffalo back in November when they had that epic event. Here's this rising air motion here. All right, you can see it big time. And of course, the sinking motion, which is right on the side of it. Okay, so nothing's coming down here, even though this kind of looks like an overhang. Doesn't it looks like it kind of comes right out at you, right in through here. So that's that process going on there. And you can see the air motion. You can see it rising right in front of your eyes. The prevailing wind carrying everything off to the north and east. Almost looks like a couple of lightning flashes in there too.
I saw it too. Yeah.
You know, you get these little clefts in here. Just an incredible. It looks like a squall line. It's a wall of snow. That's exactly right. So again, to reiterate for you, this is what the process looks like. And unfortunately, when you drive into that with a vehicle, it is not going to be a good thing. Now, we still have a couple of areas that are dangerous tonight. Again, here's south of Buffalo, so southern Erie County into Cattaraugus County, Dunkirk, Evans, on over through the Springville area, Hamburg. You're all in this with the heavy snow, so be careful.
Blue, the heavier the snow.
Yeah, and I mean, some of these, this is 2 to 4 inches an hour in some of these places, especially up here. This is a phenomenal band, by the way, which is across Lake Ontario, which never freezes because it's the deepest lake, one of the deepest lakes. And there you go down toward the Adams area. So as you come out of Oswego County into Jefferson County, I guess it is, boom. Right there. So you go right into big
skies, and then you hit that snow.
Right into the hammer.
Yeah.
But check this out. There's a radar void over the Adirondacks. So Montague's radar picks up all this. Then Burlington's radar picks up this, and then of course you get the Green Mountains, so there's a void there, and then Gray Maine's radar picks up this. This is the entire band.
That's crazy.
Right here. So that's the same band producing the snow all the way into Maine.
I heard you saying sick earlier. Is that what you're talking about?
That gets us sick from me. 390 miles. Sean Dogs, you put 390. That's just phenomenal.
Wow.
That is a big sick. Either way, the biggest snow will be where we are, the vicinity of the lakes.
Well over 2 feet.
The Dax will get over 2 feet.
All right, Jim. Thanks so much. Alexandra, back to you.
All right. Well, some tense moments, of course, along I-94 today in Battle Creek, Michigan. We're going to show you what it looks like. Some unbelievable pictures and show you why.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, some clouds, low 59, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, high 75. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy skies, low 70. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Good Friday evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on Weather Center Live. I'm Kelly Cass.
And I'm Alexandra Steele. Well, we start tonight with a roll weather plate and a deadly pileup in Michigan involving 123 cars and trucks.
Wow, that is a lot, over 100. And you can see the snow coming down in the air, and just look at the road. The highway, Interstate 94, quickly became covered. Cars, trucks, tractor trailers all collided. One of those trucks was actually hauling a load of fireworks. Just look and listen to what happened next.
One person was killed in that crash. It's a miracle that really there weren't more. 123 cars and trucks. Think about if you're on the road and there's a 6-car pileup or a 20-car pileup. Can you imagine 123 cars? 22 people, in addition to the one that were killed, were treated at area hospitals, and one of them actually listed in serious condition. Several others taken to warming centers. A big bus came and took them out of their cars and took them to warming centers. Kelly, now a closer look at the radar and the snow and what happened at the time, 10 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, we've reversed the radar as well as the satellite. This is a visible satellite from earlier this morning into early this afternoon. You can see the clouds as they set up across Lake Michigan and downwind into lower Michigan. The lake effect snow, that was really the problem here because you've got the warmer water of Lake Michigan, relatively speaking, temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. You get that cold air blowing across the water, picking up that moisture, and depending on the wind direction determines exactly who gets the snow and who stays in the snow for a longer period of time. And of course, the reduced visibility was an issue for us here traveling along Interstate 94 with that accident occurring right on the border between Kalamazoo and Calhoun counties. Let's dig a little deeper now into the weather conditions that led to this pileup. We bring in our storm tracker, Jim Cantori. Jim, just amazing. Over 100 vehicles.
Over 100, 123s with the AP reports, and I mean, you're talking about something that's over, 4 miles worth of vehicles that just went pow, 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 pow. I mean, when you think about the bigger accidents in fog or snow, that's a phenomenal number of vehicles. Let's look at Iowa here. I want to go back and show you, even without lake effect, you get into these situations where visibilities can go down to zero in an instant, and you're driving along, and it just gets, almost undrivable. Let's look at Iowa the other day. Now, I don't think there was precipitation actually even coming down here. And they got okay, this is Battle Creek. We don't have the Iowa stuff, guys? Yeah. Okay, so this is bad. Here's a lake effect snow squall just getting absolutely crushed. The winds pick up, visibility's down to zero. Look at this. Just incredible. So you got to be careful driving, whether it's a brief snow squall or one that's coming off the lakes. And we actually have situations tonight where this is still going on. So the Arctic air is still feeding in, guys. Here's the short wave that's doing that. It's just pinwheeling around another pocket of energy and bringing more cold air across the Great Lakes. So I know we're already ready to talk about warm up, which we will get, by the way, but it's going to still be a while. That process that Kelly and I were talking about during the winter weather update is beginning right here. You can see the air, clear skies, if you will, across western parts of Lake Michigan. It's being lifted, condensed, and then you get these beautiful streamers that are going on almost right on top of each other from west to east across the entire state of Michigan. Now, the best distribution of snow is going to be down and through here where there's a little bit more convergence of that air going on, and we've had some of those persistent bands during the day. So there it is showing up nicely on radar. Grand Rapids, Holland, Muskegon. I-94 now is looking pretty good. And the radar oftentimes doesn't do this justice, in my opinion, because you really have these cloud tops only around 5,000 to 15,000 feet. That's it. But those intense snow squalls are something like that you would see the equivalent of in summer with a 50,000-foot thunderstorm, where you can't see either because the rain is coming down so heavy. So here's this long fetch coming across Lake Erie. Big snow down around the Hamburg area. As a matter of fact, I would hate to be driving there right now. Here's Evans, Wells. So this is southern Erie County, New York. They've already had 16, 18 inches of snow. And when you get that heavy snow, that kind of orangey sky going, that orangey light going on, this is I-90 at Hamburg. Seriously, I don't know if there's cars out there or not, but this is the camera all caked with snow. It is coming down so intense that you just saw from the radar. Here's Watertown. This is Oswego County here. This is Jefferson County. As you drive out of Oswego into Jefferson, the hammer. That is a very intense snow band right there over into the tugs. So in some cases, 2 to 3 inches an hour. So as you can see, more lake effect will continue through the overnight hours of Saturday. We'll start to diffuse this as we get into Saturday mid-morning for Lake Erie and Lake Ontario about midday, because winds will begin to change around as a result of what's going to be happening downstream. And guys, we'll talk about that chance for ice from the Midwest into the Northeast Sunday and Monday during the next half hour. Back to you, ladies.
Jim, remember Watertown a couple years ago didn't even have any snow? They couldn't even use their snowmobiles? And now look.
I know, what a different, yeah, exactly. And now this year, we've gotten hammered in a couple of cases. And that's all it takes, Alex, is just one shot of Arctic air and 2 feet.
There you go. All right, thank you, Jim.
You got it.
All right, well, the Arctic air that's been locked in place over so much of the country beginning to loosen its grip, but there are still cold temperatures to talk about. And when it comes to dealing with that frigid air, everyone has a different strategy of how.
It's unbearable. It's crazy. I actually work outside the city. I'm a courier, so it's freezing out here.
Layers. It's all about the layers.
Chill warmers, hand warmers,
can only wear so many clothes when your uniform is red tights. So you just gotta think warm thoughts.
Keep it moving is what they need to do.
Absolutely.
But the good news, pattern changes are coming, and we're going to see some warmer temperatures, so talk about it.
Oh, yeah, even a little bit of a warm-up I know will do a lot of us some good. But, yeah, the key is to layer up as much as possible. Even now, it's still dangerously cold to be outside for an extended period of time, especially here in the Midwest and around the Great Lakes. Look at your current readings on the thermometer, barely above 0. 1 in Chicago, -1 in Green Bay, 5 degrees in Indianapolis, and down towards Louisville, 19 degrees. And you factor in the wind, even the slightest breeze feels uncomfortable. 19 below your wind chill factor right now in Green Bay, -16. That's what it feels like when you step outside for your Friday evening plans. So heading out to the restaurant or heading out to see a movie tonight, definitely make sure you got that thick coat on. The cold air still locked in place even down across the southeast, but that Arctic high is going to slide off the east coast, and the return flow, we've got that clockwise movement around the high. That will bring up some warmer temperatures. We'll have more of a southerly wind, and that will at least bring our temperatures closer to where they should be for this time of the year. So we're going 18 degrees in Chicago tomorrow. That's still 11 degrees below average, but you'll notice that by Sunday, things will be warming up, getting very close to the freezing mark, even above the freezing mark for some cities here in the Ohio Valley, Alex.
All right, well, Kelly talked about it. That warmer air will eventually move into the south in a moderated fashion. A little relief for places like Charleston, where the frozen tundra, right? It looks like it. The fountains are frozen over. Up next, we'll take a look at some other spots that have seen unusually wintry weather. Places like Florida and oranges and snow together. You got that right.
Fiber One now makes cookies. Find them in the cookie aisle.
Introducing a PM pain reliever that dares to work all the way until the AM. New Aleve PM, the only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour strength of Aleve.
You get sick, you can't breathe through your nose. Suddenly, you're a mouth breather. A mouth breather. Well, put on a Breathe Right strip and shut your mouth. Cold medicines open your nose over time, but add a Breathe Right strip and pow, it opens your nose up to 38% more, so you can breathe and do the one thing you want to do, sleep. Add Breathe Right to your cold medicine, shut your mouth, and sleep right. Breathe Right. And look for the calming scent of new Breathe Right lavender in the sleep aisle.
Gear up for a new season of the most controversial show on TV. This is football.
We all know football.
Friday Night Dykes. New season premieres January 20th at 9 on Esquire Network.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 59, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, high 75, winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, a few clouds, low 70, winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Why do you want to do your taxes now with Jackson Hewitt? Because you need a free $50 Walmart e-gift card so you can share the joy of getting your taxes done. Now get a free $50 Walmart e-gift card when you do your taxes with Jackson Hewitt at Walmart.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster.
When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
No pictures of trucks pulling boats. No photos of men working on ranches. Just a Ram 1500 Eco Diesel that gets 156 more miles per tank than the Ford F-150 EcoBoost. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com.
Here's the blizzard conditions on our yard, looking out my office window.
Look at the silos in the background.
Yeah. She's like this now. She's in her office.
This is crazy. And yes, this is a ground blizzard. We saw these conditions last evening in the northwest corner of Iowa, and Darcy Schultz captured this for us on video.
Wow.
Well, Iowa, of course, no stranger to whiteout conditions, but this week we've seen frigid temperatures and even snow in places that certainly aren't used to it.
Yeah, you've seen it if you've been watching us the last couple of days. Wintry weather in all types of places in the deep south. So let's take you to Jacksonville, certainly one of the highlights of the week. A stark contrast against the big snowflakes flying through the air yesterday. You know, you often hear us talk about lake effect snow, but this is actually ocean effect snow. And how that happens is the same cold Arctic air, but the direction from which it's coming relative to Florida, coming in from the northeast over the milder Atlantic Ocean. So same concept, but instead of lake effect, which we're talking about tonight off Lake Michigan, this is ocean effect.
Love the oranges in the foreground as the snow comes down. And how about Georgia? You know, not every day do the fountains freeze up in Savannah. This one actually stayed on, but the city actually turned off a few of the other fountains this week to avoid hazards to pedestrians and drivers. And you can see as the water came out, you had instant ice and icicles. And of course, the officials were worried that the runoff from some of these fountains could freeze, causing icy roads and pathways. And Mississippi, you guys didn't get spared from this invasion of Arctic air either. Check out this picture tweeted out by the National Weather Service in Jackson. Freezing rain just icing up the trees. Look at the ice just kind of dangling off those leaves in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So we all are in need of a warm up right about now. But Alex, unfortunately, there's more ice in the forecast for some folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a quadrant of the country. It's a Sunday, Monday affair, and we'll talk about it. Let's start things off with tomorrow. Pretty benign, right? Quiet weather, but cold. Still cold in the Northeast. Actually colder Boston and New York tomorrow than it was today, but not as cold as yesterday. And in Atlanta in the 40s finally, right? Some very cold numbers, getting now out of the 30s into the 40s. But this is the beginning. This is kind of the ingredient number one. We can see here a little bit of everything in deep Texas. And what's going to happen is this area of low pressure coming out of Texas, and this is kind of the beginning instigator of it. And what we're going to see with already all that cold air in place, we're going to bring in the moisture. It's going to override that cold air. And on Sunday and then into Monday, it becomes an affair for the Northeast, including Baltimore, New York, and even Washington, D.C. So from the Beltway to I-66, really could be impacted by this. South of that, though, it's a rainmaker for Atlanta and Savannah and in through the Carolinas. Rain in Florida, too. Rain in New Orleans. 30 degrees, though, as we head toward Monday. Denver, Colorado, some snow coming in for you. We're going to shake this system off. It pushes eastward. A little bit of residual rain here, maybe in the southeast, but notice how still cold it is Tuesday and Wednesday. So we talk about a warm-up. Really, it's relative because Tuesday and Wednesday in the Northeast, this next cold shot, and then we begin to warm up. Look how cold it is in the upper Midwest still on Tuesday. We're going to watch on Wednesday. Temperatures beginning to warm up here, but still pretty cold. A little more rain here in the southeast. A quieter week, a week that will not be as cold once we get off through that Sunday, Monday, ice and snow. And then on Thursday here in the southeast, potentially kind of another developing. You'll notice here too. Look at, you can see again, it's not all rain here in the deep south. We have the potential once again for some ice. Pacific Northwest, the next system makes its way in, and then as Friday comes along, we watch that system push off. But look, temperatures finally, Kelly, getting to palatable levels here in the Northeast, right about where we should be.
We'll take it. Alex, thank you so much. Still a lot more ahead on Weather Center Live. We're going to update the deadly pileup in Michigan involving more than 100 vehicles. Plus, it's time for a little geek out. We're talking extreme science with a simple purpose, how one high school teacher uses a camera and cold weather for an educational impact.
Sir, we're going to need you on the runway.
TheraFlu starts to get to work in your body in just 5 minutes. TheraFlu breaks you free from your worst cold and flu symptoms. TheraFlu, serious power.
The adventures you've been imagining. The heroes you've been admiring. The worlds you've been dreaming of. The thrills you've been craving. The moments you've been missing. The vacation you've been looking for is here. Come and take it. Universal Orlando Resort. Experience it all with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Vacation Package. Visit universalorlando.com.
What makes it an SUV is what you can get into it. What makes it an NX is what you can get out of it. Introducing the first ever Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Once you go beyond utility, there's no going back.
If you have Medicare Part D, Walgreens gets that you might be at the corner of looking for a good deal. And sheesh, I wish I'd looked some more. That's why Walgreens makes it easy to switch your prescriptions and save money. Just stop by and leave all the legwork to us. Switch your prescriptions to Walgreens, where you could save even more on Medicare Part D with copays as low as $0. At the corner of happy and healthy.
Thanks for the ride around Norfolk. And I just wanted to say Geico is proud to have served the military for over 75 years.
Roger that. Captain's waiting to give you a tour of the Wisconsin now.
Could have parked a little bit closer. It's going to be dark by the time I get there.
Geico, proudly serving the military for over 75 years.
Everyone sees the same sky. But when we look up, we see something amazing. This winter, you've got to watch the Weather Channel mornings.
It's going to have wide-ranging impacts.
Winter storms are too important to cover in just a few minutes.
It's going to be brutal for a lot of people.
Because it's not just about your forecast.
That's why those temperatures stay cold.
Look at this.
Listen to that.
Hello? Nothing for the back, man? Hey, ladies, this dude's got flavor.
Checkers is coating grilled cheese in our famous fry seasoning to get grilled cheese strips. Melty inside, crispy outside. Checkers.
It's in the bag.
Allergy medicine not working? This may be why. Your symptoms are caused by your body's responses to allergens. Antihistamines target only one of these responses. Nasacort Allergy 24 stops more for 24-hour relief. Nasacort stops more of what makes you miserable.
There's a fast way to a great night's sleep. Unisom Liquid. When you can't wind down, Unisom Liquid helps you fall asleep quickly. It's non-habit forming, and you wake refreshed. Unisom Liquid. A stressful day deserves a restful night.
It's all about the Washingtons. Look what your $3 gets you, baby. Loads of flavor and meat.
Introducing Checkers Homestyle Chicken Tenders. Juicy white meat chicken boxed with our famous seasoned fries. Only $3. Checkers.
It's in the bag.
For a free brochure, call 1-800-571-6603.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 59. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, high 75. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, a few clouds, low 70. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, 20 past, and let's take a live look now at Minneapolis. 3 degrees, but oh, it feels colder than that. 14 below is the wind chill. Can you imagine going out to the movies? Come on, hon.
That is painful.
You gonna wear those high heels?
No. I've got some Uggs for that.
Yeah, right. All righty. Hi, everyone. We're so glad you're with us. We've seen such cold weather. Things are improving, and we'll talk about that coming up.
It has been brutal all this week in Minneapolis, to say the least.
Yeah, but for one educator, what's considered bad, perhaps for you and me, can actually be good. Dave Malkoff explains how the cold can be cool.
And then just squat down and jump as high as you can and put your arms out.
Most people in Minnesota,
it's hard to prop yourself like
it's icy.
Don't have much use for a frozen. I'm a little nervous. I got here. Backyard trampoline.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But this is
My name is Nathan Ziegler.
Nathan Ziegler's house.
We need to clear off the snow.
He ran a hose from the hot tap inside, let it freeze, and then posted it all to YouTube.
I'm the upper school principal at a school here in Minneapolis.
He does these videos, 13 so far, to teach his students and everyone else what -7 degrees is really like.
Well, if you don't live here, you don't really know what that cold can do.
Now, sure, he started with that old hot water trick.
Yeah, everybody does that.
But now the videos are getting crazy.
Dip it in water.
There's the frozen wet towel.
There's a park close by. I went sledding down the hill.
2 liters of pop and bring them outside.
The whole thing turns into a slush.
The frozen trampoline is his latest post. Oh yeah, look at that. And all these wacky weather videos
Your hands are freezing. I was not happy.
are starting to annoy his wife, mostly when she's the reluctant star with frozen wet hair.
Very happy. He built a big snow igloo out here and hollowed it out, and he set up a TV inside of it. I stayed out for about 4 minutes, and the rest of them, they all stayed out for much longer.
Not everyone quite gets the educational value in using a pile of frozen bananas as a sub-zero hammer. What kind of comments do you get?
With any YouTube video, you get a lot of positive, you get some negative ones.
There may be a don't try this at home aspect, but we checked. I didn't do that on purpose. And if anybody watching at home has any doubts if it's a real banana, it truly gets that cold out here. Do you have any idea of what the next video would be?
I usually don't tell people about it before I do it.
That's what they call in the news business a tease.
A snowman pinata.
In Minneapolis, Dave Malkoff.
So subscribe so you can see the next one.
The Weather Channel.
Oh, Dave, I hope you're okay. You look okay. Actually, you look like you're having a lot of fun. What a great way to teach the kids. Really some awesome experiments out there. I love the water guns, by the way, shooting out snow. Take a look at these temperatures. 3 in Minneapolis, 3 in Chicago. As Alexandra mentioned, it feels a lot colder than that when you factor in the wind. And we're seeing the snow coming down in Traverse City with your temperature of 6 degrees, heavier snow bands. That's been the issue, especially across the southern part of lower Michigan as the temperatures fall later on tonight. Yeah, we're going below 0. Minneapolis, Chicago. Look at you in St. Louis getting down to about 12 degrees as we start off your Saturday morning. So Minneapolis, your average high this time of the year, right around 23 degrees. And we're not going to get there tomorrow. Just 19 for a high. We've got another shot of cold air coming in even behind that. 14 degrees for your high on Sunday. Just 5 degrees for a high temperature on Monday. So you know those lows are going to be well below 0. Even the Northeast, we're watching that Arctic air certainly in place right now, causing the lake effect snow, especially downwind of Lake Ontario. The Tug Hill expecting to see feet of snowfall. Syracuse, you're going to see some snow as well with those temperatures dropping to the upper single digits as we head into Saturday morning. 16 to start off your weekend in Boston. New York City, it has been a brutal week for us as well when it comes to the cold. Your average high 38 degrees. We are not even close. Maybe getting a little bit warmer though as we head towards the end of the weekend into Monday. Just barely above freezing though. Alex?
Oh, it will be a January to remember, right? And certainly for this. All right, this morning, a scene on a stretch of a highway in Michigan looked more like something out of a movie. The chain of events that led to this explosion of fireworks. We're diving deep into what happened and how weather played a role. Crucial. Next.
Grandpa Bodie, Grandma said you used to be out of control.
Really? I guess I did take some risks. I trained a little bit differently. I was a little too honest sometimes. The media is useless.
You were out of control.
But not always.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this.
Danger. Warning.
You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
Danger.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
I have a cold with terrible chest congestion. I better take something.
Theraflu Severe Cold doesn't treat chest congestion.
Really?
New Alka-Seltzer Plus Day Powder rushes relief to your worst cold symptoms plus chest congestion.
Oh, what a relief it is.
I've seen hurricanes, floods, I've seen tornadoes. We give out Duracell batteries after the worst happens. And when the power's out for days, we stay with them. You might say they lost everything, but that's not what I see. I see a different kind of power. I saw it in Ruth, Adam, Tom. It's the power they have inside of them. The power to move forward.
At Duracell, we believe that's the power that never, ever goes out.
Listen up. I'm reworking the menu. Veggies, you're cool. Mayo, corn dogs, you are so out of here.
The complete balanced nutrition of great tasting Ensure. 24 vitamins and minerals, 9 grams of protein, with 30% less sugars than before. Ensure, your #1 doctor-recommended brand, now introduces Ensure Active. Muscle health, clear protein drink, and high protein. Targeted nutrition to feed your active life. Ensure, take life in.
Why do you want to do your taxes now with Jackson Hewitt? Because you need a free $50 Walmart e-gift card so you can share the joy of getting your taxes done. Now get a free $50 Walmart e-gift card when you do your taxes with Jackson Hewitt at Walmart.
Now is the time to experience the freedom of guided travel with Colette. Marvel at iconic landmarks. Savor delicious meals. Come to know new cultures and make new friends. Across all 7 continents, enjoy immersive itineraries featuring experiences you can only find with Colette. All you have to do is embrace the adventure. To order your free brochure, call 855-713-8687. Experience the best in guided travel.
I never get to see you except for on the red carpet. You look absolutely beautiful.
Glamour, excitement, what a way to kick it off. Red carpet season is here with the Golden Globes. Sunday at 4 Eastern on E! And catch the Golden Globe Awards live at 8 Eastern on NBC.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 59, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy. Saturday night, a few clouds, low 70, winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Weather Center Live. Thanks for joining us on this Friday evening. We're glad you're spending a little time with us. We are keeping a very close eye, on, of course, on the radar tonight with snow causing deadly problems in Michigan.
Yeah, a huge problem with visibility. In fact, 2 multi-vehicle pileups that turned deadly, unfortunately. We're going to start with this one on US 23. This is in Washtenaw County. That is to the west of Detroit. 1 person was killed in this crash. Several others were hurt. This crash involved dozens of semi-trucks, and that highway was shut down for quite a long time earlier today.
All right, and Kelly, that pileup happened not long after this one. You've probably been watching TV and you've seen this. Unbelievable. 75 miles to the west. This one, 123 cars, trucks, tractor trailers lined up. Boom, boom, boom. Stretch of I-94 had near whiteout conditions at the time. Several of these trucks were actually hauling hazardous material and actually caught on fire.
Yeah, the fireworks were just incredible. In fact, look at this and listen. The sound, the sight of fireworks, and no, not on the 4th of July, on a snowy winter day. This, of course, happening after a truck hauling shipment caught fire. Interstate 94 remains shut down in this area while crews clean up the mess. A truck driver from Canada was killed. Nearly 24 other drivers and passengers were taken to hospitals to be treated for injuries. Several people involved in the crash also taken to warming centers.
All right, so here's what the radar looked like at the time to give you a little perspective. That blue was all snow, and that's what's called a fetch. It's coming over the lake, this cold Arctic air. It's paralleling, in essence, the interstate. The snow band's pretty low in the vertical, maybe 5,000-10,000 feet. That's it. So in essence, it feels and probably looks like a fog bank. So you're just driving up to it. You can only see feet in front of you, and all these cars just boom, 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 getting into accidents in front of you that you can't even see. So that's how 123 cars, trucks, semis kind of roll right up at full force. And also, Jim talked about this before. It's kind of an interesting thought. Not only the fog or the snow in the vertical, but what's happening on the ground, right, Jim? With the snow there, it's there, sun comes out, melts the snow, it gets wet, more it freezes, and so the myriad,
it's the domino effect.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, not only do you have these, low visibilities, because never once did we see that go down to zero, right? No, but it was reduced enough, given the speed of an interstate traveler, to also accompany that with road conditions that are melt, frozen, then you get the snow on top of that, and it refreezes whatever is melted. So just an awful situation. Guys, if you listen to this video for a second, you'll actually hear some of the bottle rockets. It'll be a whistling sound. There you go, right there. Wow. I'm thinking this probably wasn't the kind of fireworks that we would go to New York City to see on July 4th, but probably more that you would get out of one of these shops. Myriad of shops, if you will, depending on which states sell fireworks. Either way, seen more like out of a movie set, as you would imagine, driving up on or even hearing that. Because you don't know where that stuff's going to land.
The fireworks injured one of the firefighters, by the way, Jim, that was responding to that.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I mean, an 18-wheeler full of all that gunpowder. Let's talk about what's going on in that same area, ladies. And you can see this area, the stretch of interstate where we had the problems, is pretty much snow-free at this time. We've got our snow here kind of back up toward the north and west, and what's happened is we don't seem to have the same kind of southeast fetch with the coldest of air anymore. It's almost turned around a little bit more westerly, so that's taken Benton Harbor to Kalamazoo out of the game here, so to speak, at least for now. But we're going to still have another day or so of this cold air. But if you're driving north into out of if you will, Erie, or not out of Erie, out of Chautauqua County into Erie County, I mean, look at this snow coming down around the Hamburg and the Concord area. This is kind of the same area that was reeling in the snow back in November, and they are getting absolutely crushed. As a matter of fact, we're upping our totals to 18 to 24 inches. Now, this is all additional through probably Saturday night is when we'll see this begin to taper off a little bit. But look at the snow here in Erie County. You can see this plow out there, which got some great exercise in November. Not a ton of lake effect in December, but here we are again with a cooler lake, but a colder air mass aloft. So regardless of what's going on, the warm lake or the cold air loft, if you can keep that same differential, the same physics are involved, right? The same processes are going on. So let's talk about this. So 2 feet plus, 18 to 24, especially down to the south of Watertown. That band, if it shifts a little bit to the north, probably about 4 miles, Watertown, you're going to be into this big time. New low pressure system, large area of ascent or lift, rising air motion is all that means. That is coming into southwest Texas tonight. At the same time, we are draining down cold air. So this low is spinning counterclockwise aloft. It's bringing the precip and the ascent over this area where the cold, dry air, that's the most important part of that, is dry, is coming on to the south. So even though temperatures are right above freezing in through here, we're going to see wet bulbing, cooling of the atmosphere with the evaporation. And as a matter of fact, we've already had a couple of patches of sleet around the Austin area, San Marcos, and north of San Antonio. And look at this bigger batch down and through here. This is coming to the north, and that's why we have the winter weather advisory out. Look at Junction, Texas, sitting at 34. Kerrville's had some sleet. There's Fort Stockton, already down to 32 degrees, and we are going to get into this snow during the overnight hours. Again, this is probably just a few light sleet pellets mixed in with rain here, so I don't expect any problems on the roads along I-35, but you can see the extent of the advisories, including Austin and San Antonio, and the winter storm warnings for the beautiful Trans-Pecos, the beautiful Marfa Plateau down there in southwest Texas. Now, we actually have an update to the RPM model. This is our high-resolution model. Here's the time. Let's put this into motion, because what's interesting is we don't have this big batch of snow coming up like we saw in some of the earlier runs, and I find that kind of interesting, because a lot of times these things can overachieve themselves. By tomorrow, we should be out of this by noon, I think, because all of the cold air will be used up, and there won't be the same amount of lift going on in the atmosphere, at least for southwest Texas. Now, Sunday morning, as the precip moves north into slightly colder air, maybe a sleet pellet or two, maybe, again, a period of sleet. But I think the worst problems are going to be about just to the south of St. Louis on over to the Ohio River. That's where we've got a little deeper cold air. We may have a changeable atmosphere, ladies, where we have freezing air at the surface, cold air aloft, and a little thin layer of above freezing that melts the snowflakes. So we may get some sleet, maybe some freezing rain in there, and we expect that to expand all the way to the northeast through Monday. So small pockets, but big potential for problems. Back to you.
All right, Jim, thanks so much. They're cold, they're fast, and they dump inches of snow. Clipper systems deliver a lot of wintry weather to the U.S., courtesy of Canada. And while you may have heard of an Alberta Clipper, its two lesser-known cousins are just as fierce. Meteorologist Mike Bettis shows us how these quick hitters form.
Brutal cold and snow, winter's calling card here in the northern states. This weather often comes courtesy of Canada and the cleverly named Alberta Clipper, Saskatchewan Screamer, and Manitoba Mauler. And you know, with names like that, they aren't bringing any wimpy weather. So let's show you where these intimidating storms get their start. Over here in the Pacific Ocean, moist air drives inland and heads for the Canadian Rockies. Here, it collides with cold mountain air. That cold air then spills downslope into the plains and low pressure begins to form. And this is the part where people in the U.S. really need to start paying attention. The low catches a ride on the jet stream and shoots into the U.S. When a storm originates in Alberta, it's known as an Alberta Clipper, named after the fast sailing ships of the 19th century. When it forms in Saskatchewan, it's known as a Saskatchewan Screamer. But if it waits to get its act together until Manitoba, it's a Manitoba Mauler. Because these systems ride the jet stream, they're usually quick hitters, bringing frigid temperatures and howling winds, but often just 1 to 3 inches of snow for cities from Fargo, North Dakota to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, despite the lack of heavy snow, the wicked winds that accompany these Canadian-born storms can create dangerous ground blizzards, bringing everything to a halt. And these storms can often move farther east into the Ohio Valley and the Mid-Atlantic. So no matter which frightening name it gets, the Clipper, the Screamer, and the Mauler can bring some serious weather to the U.S.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 59, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, high 75, winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, a few clouds, low 70, winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
There's a myth out there that you can't do it all, that you can't be everything to everyone. Well, consider that myth shattered. This is the full line of Ram ProMaster vans and the all-new Ram ProMaster City, built to help you run the town from every direction.
Saving and smiling. That's how I start the year. With tons of stuff on rollback, clearance, and more at Walmart. And that really puts a smile on my face.
Thousands of items on rollback and clearance, in-store and online.
Next.
Expected wait time, 55 minutes. Your call is important to us. Thank you for your patience.
In the nation, we know how it feels when you aren't treated like a priority. We do things differently.
We'll take care of it.
We put members first.
Thank you.
Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
Today's grocery bags leave a lot to be desired. They dig into your hands when you carry them. They spill open when you're driving. And they're so small, unloading them requires endless trips back and forth to your car. You need a better solution. You need a grab bag. You'll start loving your grab bag the minute you reach the checkout aisle. Because it grabs onto your card and stays open, you can easily fill it after items are scanned. Then when you get to the car, they simply lift out and go right in your trunk. And it gets even better. Grab bags have a broad base and a securing flap, so they sit up nicely in the back of your car and won't spill all over while you're driving home. Plus, they expand to hold several times what a regular shopping bag can hold. Amazing! Imagine being able to grab and go in a single trip. Ever had something heavy rip right out of a plastic bag and smash on the ground? Not with a grab bag. Even this heavy dumbbell is no match for its super sturdy construction, and that's a lot more weight than most people will ever need to carry. Grab bags are made of earth-friendly material that's mold and mildew resistant. They easily wipe clean with just a damp cloth. Even better, they fold flat when you're done, so you can store them in your kitchen or in your car. Every grab bag even has a generous front pocket with plenty of room for wallets, coupons, even cell phones. Use them at the laundromat or even on picnics and trips to the beach. Call now, and through this special TV offer, you'll get 2 grab bags for just $14.99. They come with a full 1-year money-back guarantee. Call or click in the next 5 minutes and get absolutely free shipping and handling. And find out about our incredibly low price on our deluxe insulated grab bag. Use it to keep frozen food from defrosting, or use it to keep hot food ready to eat when you get home. Get 2 grab bags with free shipping and handling and exclusive pricing on our insulated grab bag for just $14.99. Call now.
Call 1-800-566-6075 to get the grab bag special on this TV offer. But you must call to order or go online to grabbag.com. So call 1-800-566-6075. That's 1-800-566-6075. Call now.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live, everybody. It's been a rough couple of days for people all across the Deep South with the freezing temperatures. Take a look at these students at the University of Georgia in Athens, walking to class in those freezing temperatures. I see some coats on. That's good. Reynolds Wolf was out there in the streets talking to some of the kids. I would wear the hat, though, in cold like this. But, you know, Alexandra, when you're this age, the cold doesn't seem to bother you as much, you know?
I think it's great they're walking to class.
Yeah.
They're going to class, right? I know someone who's not. All right, so Arctic cold, it is lingering, and we've certainly seen that, but there's some good news. On the upshot, in places like Georgia and Athens, or Georgia Tech, or wherever you may be, temperatures really are warming up here, and it will be quite notable. So here, temperature right now, it's 34. Walking outside, maybe in Midtown, in Atlanta, Georgia, in Montgomery, in New Orleans, Atlanta. You could see Orlando in the 50s, Jacksonville in the 40s. So you get it. When the 40s and 50s are ensconced in Florida, you know it's cold. But we're going to see a change, and here's why. It's all about the direction from which the wind is coming. So is it generating, pulling up warm air from the south? Is it pulling it down, cold Arctic air? Well, now, finally, we're pulling up some warmer air. So southerly component to the wind, bringing temperatures closer to average. So a lot more palatable. Tomorrow, 43 in Atlanta. All these temperatures, though, still between 5 and 10 degrees below average. Sunday, we begin to moderate. You can see Charlotte. Hey, Jacksonville getting to average, right? From snowflakes to 64. You got to love it. And then watch what happens on Monday. Temperatures even moving farther still, so that is the good news. And the average high in Atlanta, Georgia is in the 50s, 52. Hey, we're at 5 the other day, so big time improvements coming. Tomorrow in the 40s, 43, 44 on Sunday, and then into the 50s Monday to start the work week on Kelly. So we're going to see things really begin to improve. So that is the good news. In the southeast, I think it's really going to be more noticeable, this warmth, than certainly in the northeast where temperatures aren't going to move quite as much.
So the kids are back to shorts at UGA.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, Alex. It's a big weekend for football fans. In the West, Denver is hosting a big matchup. So is Seattle. So who has the weather advantage for this week's games in the West? Our own Paul Goodlow broke it down this morning on AMHQ.
This could be the upset alert of the playoffs. Again, we forecast the weather and who could win based on previous performance in the weather. And let's talk about the weather in Mile High in Denver on Sunday afternoon. In fact, I'll be in Colorado on Sunday, so I'm afraid to make this pick. But look at the forecast. Temperatures falling off the 40s to the upper 30s throughout the game. Now, based on those weather conditions in the past, the Colts are actually 6-4 in those temperatures, so about a 60% chance in terms of victory. Now the Broncos, well, they are 6-1, so we're talking about an 85% chance in past victories, including the win over the Chargers last January. Now in terms of the quarterback ratings, take a look at this. Andrew Luck, in fact, his QB rating in temperatures like this, over 94, almost 95. Now Peyton Manning, a big crowd favorite, not as good in these same temperatures. His QB rating is 61. So again, based on the weather, I think the QB performance will be a huge issue on Sunday. I'm going for the upset. I'm picking the Colts to go into Denver and beat the Broncos based on the weather. Nothing personal, people in Colorado. This is just based on the weather. Another big-time game going on. We're talking about the Panthers going into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Temperatures in the 40s throughout the game. But based on previous performance, the Panthers are 2-2 in temperatures in the 40s. The Seahawks are 14-2. So again, that's a no-brainer. Because of the weather, I'm picking the Seahawks to win that game. So again, the rundown, we got the upset of the Colts. We got the Seahawks winning. Also, the previous games you picked, I'm picking Green Bay, as well as picking the Patriots, all to win this weekend based on the weather.
All right, thanks, Paul. Tomorrow on Weather Center Live's Weekend Edition, a special guest weighs in on the Cowboys-Packers matchup. Hear from Dan Reeves, who played in the infamous Ice Bowl and who's played or coached in 7 Super Bowl games. He shares his outlook tomorrow morning at 8:40 Eastern, right here on the Weather Channel.
That'll be cool, really. All right, so this week we've seen a little bit of everything, have we not? And thanks in part to some of you, we get to share with our viewers some just how amazing it is out there.
That's right. Check it out. You know, extreme whiteout conditions in Iowa. You can barely see right in front of you, especially when you get that cold, dry air. It's just like a powdery, fluffy snow, so it gets all over the place.
And you can see, too, kind of indicative of what we've seen in Michigan and New York and all these places, how difficult it is to see in 1 second. Just that snow so light, it's just blowing all over.
And that's why we've had so many accidents. And we are going to come back with your winter weather update, see if any more of this is in store for you. We'll be right back.
If you're taking multiple medications, does your mouth often feel dry? A dry mouth can be a side effect of many medications, but it can also lead to tooth decay and bad breath. That's why there's Biotene. Available as an oral rinse, toothpaste, spray, or gel, Biotene can provide soothing relief, and it helps keep your mouth healthy, too. Remember, while your medication is doing you good, a dry mouth isn't. Biotene, for people who suffer from a dry mouth.
Discover card. Hey, so I'm looking at my bill and my FICO credit score is on here.
We give you your FICO score each month for free.
Awesome sauce.
Wow. The only person I know that says that is Lisa.
Julie?
At Discover, we treat you like you'd treat you. Get the IT card and see your FICO credit score.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 59. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, high 75. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, a few clouds, low 70. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with efficiency? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
At the end of the day, my hands are beat up.
Especially during the winter times, hands are splitting, cracking, making it very difficult to do my job.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry hands that crack and split.
Best stuff we've ever used.
It just works.
Learn more at workinghands.com.
What does an apron have to do with car insurance? An apron is hard work. An apron is pride in what you do. An apron is not quitting until you've made something a little better. What does an apron have to do with car insurance? For us, everything.
Saving and smiling. That's how I start the year. With tons of stuff on roll bag, clearance, and more at Walmart. And that...
I'm Robin. And I'm Chris. And according to Mama, we're brothers. Clearly. At a firehouse table just like this, we learned about the tradition of great food and lots of it. From the start, every firehouse sub has honored our firefighter roots. That's right. Take the hook and ladder sub, loaded with turkey, honey ham, Monterey Jack, steam heated. It's the sub that started the fire. And now, the light version. Only $5.49, just 450 calories. Perfect for you, Robin. Why are you looking at me?
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
When you do business with Vince Marotta as a professional, you walk away with a friend.
Not only did Vince work harder than we expected, we had a great time.
What was really surprising is that Vince goes above and beyond what's expected of him as a realtor.
I'm Vince Marotta. Some realtors are looking for a quick sale. I'm looking to forge a lasting business relationship. Your journey begins at MarottaRealty.com.
Wild tiger numbers are at an all-time low. Please help save them now.
Every Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Hey everybody, check this out. This is lake effect snow this morning. Presque Isle State Park in Pennsylvania. Plenty of waves out there on Lake Erie, and yeah, we may have had a little bit of a lull in the lake effect action during the month of December, but boy, is it back, and back with a vengeance. Look at that, Jim. You can hear the wind too.
Yeah, I was waiting for a surfer to show up.
Would you be out there with a wetsuit on?
No, that's not quite my flavor right there. But
wind surfer, yeah.
You know what's the worst thing is probably the sand. I mean, because when that wind picks up the sand and there's no heavy rain to kind of that's just brutal.
Right in the face. You got to put your Cantori goggles on in a situation like that.
And that's why I started wearing goggles back a few years ago, because I came back from a storm and it took me about a week to get the sand out of my eyes. Anyway, let's talk about lake effect, because we have seen our share, unfortunately causing a major accident today in southwest Michigan, and we will continue to see our share, probably right through Sunday here, and especially with the way that this trough has kind of lined up the winds. This is Lake Erie, and when it comes across the entire lake like this, there's just a little part of this that's frozen right now. Back acting through here. The warmest part of the whole lake is up here in the northeast, but it's about 40-plus degrees. So you have that going on. Then just offshore of Buffalo and Hamburg, we're sitting here about 36 degrees. So all in all, you've got the fact that you've got warm lakes, you've got cold air coming over the top of those lakes, and that pretty much sets the stage here. Now, we saw back in November about minus 11 come over the lakes, and the water temperatures were 52 degrees over the eastern lake. So
huge instability.
Yeah. So no matter where you create that instability in this layer, it's still the same physics that go on. Rising air motion here and sinking on the side. And probably the best example I've ever seen of that, Kelly, was last month south of Buffalo. As a matter of fact, let's take you back here. We had this tremendous shot that we just showed over and over and over again, and we could show it over and over again. It is literally a wall of snow. So here's the rising air motion here. You can see the cloud elements going basically due up. Obviously, we can't see here underneath this cloud canopy, which is kind of overhanging. So my thinking, it almost looks like there's some lightning in there too. So there's some sinking air underneath all that. But underneath that, you're pretty much getting an up-down, just dump of snow. It is literally zero visibility, and we saw that. That's how you get 5 inches an hour right there.
Yeah, I love how we sped it up just to show the structure and just to show everybody how this works, really.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can almost like see these little vortices rolling up on these clefts. I mean, just like you would see with a haboob or a squall line, almost.
I
mean,
called
really,
it a snow boob last month when this happened. Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, that's how you get hammered there with the snowfall. So let's go back to this again. What you were just looking at is that rapid rising air motion on the edge. It can even be right up to the edge of the clouds, and then of course sinking motion there. But there was like this overhang, you know, kind of on the side of it there that we watched as well move on.
And very persistent wind, which basically means the same towns and cities get hit over and over.
Wind flow, see, what we don't have here showing is the prevailing wind flow aloft just carries this right on shore. And as the longer we can do that, and the more persistent that is, you go from 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4, and on up. And that's that's what's going on right now.
Weather Service saying maybe up to 5 feet, perhaps.
Yeah, for the tugs, they're going to get crushed. Here's the city of Buffalo. Fine. Beautiful night, go out, have a great dinner. But down to the south here, I mean, we're right here in southern Erie County, getting absolutely crushed. As a matter of fact, Hamburg, where I think Bettis was this morning, before we go to this next story, let me show you the picture here that Dillingham just got up for us here out of WRG, what is it? Andrea Marvin here. What is it, RB? GRZ, that's what it is. That's what it is. GRZ in Buffalo.
What are we looking at?
Look at
there's a car.
There's a car, but this is the snow like sticking to the lens or to the windshield. I mean, you can't even wipe this stuff fast enough.
See.
So intense snowfall tonight in Hamburg. Again, all this is south of the city of Buffalo going on at the present time. All right, let's go back to the graphics and talk about what's going on to the north. Big snow down in just to the south of Watertown. But what's most amazing is how far this band goes. The radar drops out of Montague because of the Adirondacks. You can't see it here.
Right.
Burlington's radar picks up this. That's the same part of the band.
Wow.
And then it drops out over the Green Mountains here. And then Gray's radar, Gray, Maine, picks up this part of the band.
Nearly 400 miles?
Nearly 400 miles. That's all coming off of Lake Ontario.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's quite the traveler.
All right, so, yeah, tonight we just get hammered in these areas. Again, that's maybe an underestimate of the kind of snow that we see. And if the band shifts, you'll notice we have Watertown in the 2 feet. We'll see what happens there. South Texas, the new RPM model, which is our high-resolution model, does not dump the snow for the Trans-Pecos like the earlier one did. But given the vertical motion fields here, I wouldn't rule it out yet. Then Sunday, this all starts to move to the north. I think this will start as sleet and be mostly rain across Arkansas and southern Missouri. St. Louis may have some bigger problems, but Sunday night spreading across Columbus, Pittsburgh, and then potentially into the northeast quarter from Monday morning. It will be light, but potentially significant as we know.
Live cut-ins coming up Sunday afternoon right here on the Weather Channel. Alexandra has one more thing to tell you about coming up next.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 59, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, high 75. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night, a few clouds, low 70. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back, and here's a look at what we've got. Lake Ontario, Lake Erie. Boy, we've got fetches incredible. How about 5 feet of snow, potentially? All right, so here's Lake Ontario, and you can see here's I-81. Now this fetch going about 400 miles into the Green and White Mountains. So right off this in the Tug Hill Plateau, maybe 4 feet of snow on top of what you already have. All right, here's Lake Erie. You can see most of the action now happening south of Buffalo. So those south towns just getting pounded with snow. And it's all about just kind of the dynamics and the fetch and the direction and the steadiness of the wind. You can see right here. You can see Buffalo actually pretty nice. Go out, as Jim says, have a nice night, have a nice dinner, enjoy it. Evans, you can see this. Wow, Collins, really, you can see all of that snow. Again, farther north, here's Watertown getting pounded. The Tugs getting pounded with snow. Hey, this might even be conservative. Just be safe out there. We've certainly seen a lot of rough weather. So you think you can survive?
The highway disappears in a blinding fog. Stop! A relentless bear stalks you in the wild.
The world's fastest sprinter couldn't outrun a black bear.
And a deadly current drags you deep into the ocean.
All logic and reasoning goes out.
From an ice-cold catastrophe to a blazing hot emergency.
Here it comes across the road on our side too!
Natural disasters, extreme and unexpected danger. You will choose your fate. On the open road with friends. No traffic and clear skies make for smooth sailing. In these conditions, it would be easy to zone out. Too easy. Suddenly, your car is filling with cold, dark water. In seconds, you could be drowning behind the wheel. Now, what would you do if your car was sinking into water? Would you A, call 911 immediately? B, roll down your window and climb out? Or C, open the door and swim to safety? The choice is yours. But if you don't want to become one of the nearly 400 people a year who drown in their vehicles, you need to know more about the situation you're in.
We tend to think these incidents happen when people drive off bridges, but most of the time people are just driving along and either there's a retention pond or a canal or a ditch, and they just end up losing control and off the road and into the ditch. They end up in water. Road conditions can contribute to people getting in the water. If it's icy or wet and slippery, you can lose control and even go off a road that's pointing straight.
Anytime your car goes into the water, especially if it goes upside down, that's going to be a very disorienting experience for you.
This terrifying scenario could happen to anyone, and this time, it's happening to you. So you think you'd survive a sinking car? It may go against instinct, but B, rolling down your window is your best route to escape and survive.
When the car first hits the surface of the water, especially if it's upright, there may be a period of time where the car floats. That's the time to get out of the car. That's the time to get the windows rolled down, get the seatbelts undone, help anybody else who needs help in the vehicle, and get safely to the surface.
Contrary to popular belief, much of the car's electrical system will work even when it's underwater. The battery will not short out. You will still have at least 10 seconds and maybe even up to a minute in which those electric windows will work.
Your best option if you find your vehicle's in the water is to get the windows rolled down as quickly as you can or break them out. If you don't have a tool available, if you can get the window rolled down a few inches, it will be easier to bend and break the glass.
As for the front and rear windows, don't waste your time.
It's almost impossible to break out the windshield or the rear window by kicking it or even using an object on it. Those are reinforced glass, and there are often 2 layers there, and so they're very difficult for a person to break, especially in a crisis situation like being in the underwater.
You've got a reasonable amount of time, if you know what to do and you're not panicking, to get your seatbelt off and open the window and get out, and in those cases you're actually getting out down into the water.
And if you're underwater when you exit,
Take a minute, try to understand your circumstances. If you can see your bubbles, watch which way they move when you exhale. Follow your bubbles to the surface.
But why bother with the window when you could try the door?
It's going to be very difficult to open the door until the water fills the car and those pressures equalize.
Miami-Dade County Police and Fire, where is the emergency? Hi, I just got into an accident. I just went into the railing. I'm sinking in the water. Are you out of your vehicle? No, not yet.
Wouldn't 911 be able to offer help?
This is not the time to call 911. You've got precious few seconds. Taking time to make a phone call, letting that connect to the local law enforcement office, hoping your cell phone has a signal. These aren't problems you need to deal with when you find that your car is in the water.
You have about 1 minute while you're still able to open that window, and any call you make to 911 is going to take well more than a minute to accomplish anything. The reality is, this is one of those emergencies where you are responsible for your own survival.
Hang on, we call 911, hang on. They're coming, they're sending help. You're gonna be fine.
Crash landing into water is as frightening as it gets, but it doesn't have to spell doom. Keep calm and open your side window for a quick escape. If you become disoriented as you swim to the surface, look for the light. And don't waste time calling for help until you're free. If this nightmare becomes your reality, remember, your window is the quickest way out of a watery grave. You're on the way home from a family camping trip when you see Mother Nature's wrath is riding alongside.
Oh my God, it's hot. It is so hot, I can't believe it. Oh my God, it's getting closer.
It's a red-hot wildfire that extends for miles.
I'm too young to die. Okay, Matt, stop.
You're not gonna die.
Stay calm.
And when the out-of-control flames threaten to overtake your car,
Oh my God, we're gonna be in an accident, okay? Oh my God, here it comes. Oh God, you guys hang on, get buckled in. Here it comes across the road on our side too.
what will you do now to survive this raging inferno? Should you A, turn away from the flames and outrun the fire? B, pull over and turn on the air conditioning? Or C, drive into an area that's already been burned? Your predicament couldn't be more dire. So it helps to know what kind of trouble you've just driven into.
Wildfire, brush fire, grass fire, people have different terms for them all over the country. Really, any fire that occurs outside in a natural setting can be referred to as a wildfire. Most fires are human caused, something on the order of 90% of all wildfire in the United States.
Every year in the U.S., an average of 5 million acres burn up in wildfires, costing millions in damages and taking lives.
When you're trying to forecast which way this fire is going to go, you have to take into consideration what type of fuel is it burning through, what is the topography that it's going through, and the weather.
Wildfires seem to be more and more frequent, unfortunately. Wherever we have periods of drought where vegetation gets dry, the winds will actually take what would otherwise be a small fire and turn it into a huge conflagration where the smoke and the flames go for miles and miles.
That is unreal.
It's difficult to quantify how fast a fire moves. You know, it doesn't move in a uniform front. It tends to spot out in front of itself. And sometimes we can see fire be very docile and move backwards down a hill at a very slow rate. Other times you could see bursts of speed through light, flashy fuels or exceptionally dry brush. It could be 50 or 60 miles an hour for a short period of time.
Better get going, Dan.
These strong gusty winds will take embers and they will blow them a quarter of a mile or even a half a mile away to a part of the region that has had no fire whatsoever, and then it'll start a new fire.
Oh my God, am I scared? Oh my God, am I scared? Oh my God, here it comes. Oh God, you guys hang on, get buckled in.
And there you are, in your car, face to face with a wildfire. Do you know what to do? The answer when we return. An accident in the snow pits you against deadly frostbite. An invisible force pulls you down into the abyss. And you're about to look into the jaws of a furious bear.
Stop.
Wild Weather at 8 continues after the break.
Every truck can tow a boat. Every truck can climb a hill. Every truck can haul a trailer. But not everyone can say they're the fastest growing truck brand in America. Guts Glory Ram.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
A little bit here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Imagine yourself exploring the mysteries of Machu Picchu, dining at the Eiffel Tower, or staying at the Fairmont Lake Louise in the Canadian Rockies. Across all 7 continents, Colette's guided tours take you places others only dream about.
I love Colette because they arrange everything for me. All I have to do is sit back and enjoy.
Marvel at iconic landmarks. Savor delicious meals. Come to know new cultures and make new friends. Along the way, enjoy immersive itineraries featuring experiences you can only find with Colette. Whether you're in the America West, discovering New Zealand, or walking on the Great Wall, you'll be traveling with one of our professional tour managers. All you have to do is embrace the adventure. To order your free brochure, call 855-714-8687. Experience the best in guided travel. 855-714-8687.
Every Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
You're watching Wild Weather at 8.
You've just driven head-on into a crisis.
Oh my God, it's hot. It is so hot, I can't believe it. Oh my God, it's getting closer.
A massive, blazing wildfire races towards your car.
Okay, Matt, stop.
You're not gonna die.
Stay calm.
The inferno is about to overtake your vehicle.
Oh my God, here it comes. Oh God, you guys hang on, get buckled in. Here it comes across the road on our side too.
Now, what would you do? Your best case scenario to ride out the flames is B. Pull over and turn the air conditioning on. While the fast-moving fire may cross the road, it won't ignite it. As long as you can avoid accidents with panicked drivers, the danger will be over in an instant.
And if you don't have to drive, don't drive. Pull over, wait for it to pass. You may also consider parking your car or seeking shelter in a cut bank where a road has cut through the mountain. Those areas tend to have less fuel to burn. Also, they tend to provide some shielding from the fires.
As for the AC, be sure to set it to recirculate.
More people die from smoke inhalation than anything else, and you don't want to be inhaling that smoke, that's for sure.
This is crazy.
And another important point,
Anytime we're in a firefighting situation, we never turn off the vehicles, because if once you turn a vehicle off, you don't know that it's going to start again. So if you do find yourself in a situation where you're trapped by wildfire, make sure that your car doesn't have auto locks and do not turn your engine off.
Then just wait it out. As for driving through an area that has already been burned out, it could be a good choice, but it's difficult and it's risky. You could encounter a new flare-up or damage your vehicle and end up stranded.
Look at this. Oh my gosh. This is really thick.
Another risky choice, trying to outrun the fire.
Oh my God.
You don't know what the boundaries of the fire are, and you might be driving into a hotter portion of the fire rather than driving away from it. Fires can cover a large area and they can travel quite fast.
What's this about? No, we cannot go through there. But Mike, we're gonna drop. Oh geez, we can't go forward anymore. Oh God, there's the fire. It's still coming this way. That's a drop. We couldn't go down it.
Winds in a wildfire can shift dramatically from time to time, and what's a safe location now can suddenly change. So you could find yourself safe at one moment and in severe danger in another.
Hang on, here we go. On to your hat. Go, Stella, go. Go, Stella, go. She did it. Oh, yay.
This family got lucky. Their off-road adventure could have put them in real jeopardy.
Good luck and thank you. Thank you.
Driving in a wildfire is scary enough, but what if you're in your home when a wildfire strikes? It's too late to heed evacuation orders. The fire has cut off all escape. What should be the first thing you do? Would you A, use a hose to water down your roof and landscaping? B, turn your house lights on and your AC off? Or C, fill your tubs and sinks with water? Your first course of action? B, turn your lights on and your AC off.
If you try to make that evacuation decision and you decide that you can't, or for some reason your escape path is cut off, it's time to seek refuge in your home. There's some things you can do to help yourself out. Make sure all your lights are on both inside and outside the house. That's also going to help firefighters to know that somebody may be inside a residence.
And unlike your car, your home AC doesn't have the option to recirculate, so you want it off.
Remember, air conditioners pull air from outside, and if there's smoke outside, you don't want that inside your house. Make sure all your windows are closed. More often than not, the house doesn't catch on fire, but rather embers find their way inside.
Only once your lights are on and your AC is off should you think about your next course of action, filling your tubs and sinks with water.
You may want to consider filling up your sink or your bathtub as an alternate water source. That'll give you the opportunity to use a bucket to go out and put out any spot fires or something like that.
As for hosing down your roof and property,
remember that when you're using your local water supply, it takes away from the water supply in the system. And if an entire neighborhood has their garden hoses out watering down their roofs, that's going to take away pressure that's important for firefighters in our water supply. It's less common today to see a fire start in a roof. What we tend to see more often is fire makes its way in through an open window, or it catches a curtain on fire that's hanging in a window. So really, your time is probably better spent making sure that you're prepared.
the most important thing to do when there is a wild